Young editorials about you in the paper for being a hero and all. He was talking too fast and too calmly. Yeah, they're calling you a hero now, heroizing all the greasers. We're proud of you, buddy. Johnny's eyes glowed. Dally was proud of him. That was all Johnny had ever wanted. Pony boy? I barely heard him. I came closer and leaned over to hear what he had to say. Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold. The pedal seemed to sink a little, and Johnny died. You read about people looking peacefully asleep when they're dead, but they don't. Johnny just looked dead, like a candle with the flame gone. I tried to say something, but I couldn't make a sound. Dally swallowed and reached over to push Johnny's hair back. Never could keep that hair back. That's what you get for trying to help people, you little punk. That's what you get. Rolling around suddenly, he slammed back against the wall, his face contorted in agony, and sweat streamed down his face. Damn it, Johnny, he begged, slamming one fist against the wall, hammering it to make it obey his will. Oh, damn it, Johnny, don't die. Please, don't die. He suddenly bolted through the door and down the hall. I walked down the hall in a daze. Dally had taken the car. I started the long walk home in a stupor. Johnny was dead. But he wasn't. That still body back in the hospital wasn't Johnny. Johnny was somewhere else, maybe asleep in the lot, or playing the pinball machine back in the bowling alley, or sitting on the steps back in the church in Windsor. I'd go back home and walk by the lot, and Johnny would be sitting on the curb smoking a cigarette, and maybe we'd lie on our backs and watch the stars. He isn't dead, I said to myself. He isn't dead. And this time my dreaming worked. I convinced myself that he wasn't dead. I must have wandered around for hours, sometimes even onto the street, getting honked at and cussed at. Might have stumbled around all night except for a man who asked me if I wanted a ride. Huh? Oh yeah, I guess so, I said as I got in. The man, who was in his mid-20s, looked at me. You alright, kid? You look like you've been in a fight. I have. A rumble. I'm okay. Johnny's not dead, I told myself, and I believed it. Hate to tell you this, kiddo, the guy said dryly, but you're bleeding all over my car seats. I blinked. I am? Your head. I reached up to scratch the side of my head where it had been itching for a while, and when I looked at my hand, it was smeared with blood. Gosh, mister, I'm sorry, I said, dumbfounded. Don't worry about it. This truck's been through worse. What's your address? I'm not about to dump a hurt kid out on the streets at this time of night. I told him. He drove me to my house, and I got out. Thanks a lot. He waved me on. I'm naturally a great guy. He roomed the motor and peeled out. What was left of our gang was in the living room. Steve was stretched out on the sofa, his shirt unbuttoned and his side bandaged. His eyes were closed, but the door shut behind me as he opened them. I suddenly wondered if my own eyes looked feverish and bewildered as his. Soda had a wide cut on his lips and a bruise across his cheeks. There was a band-aid over Derry's forehead and a black eye. One side of Two-Bit's face was taped up. I found out later that he had 4 stitches in his cheek and 7 in his hand where he had busted his knuckles over Sosha's head. They were lounging around, reading the paper, snowing. Where's the party? I thought dully. Weren't Soda and Steve planning a party after the rumble? They all looked up when I walked in. Derry leaped to his fist. Where have you been? Oh, don't start that again, I thought. He stopped suddenly. Pony boy, what's the matter? I looked at all of them, a little frightened. Johnny, he's dead. My voice sounded strange, even to me, but he's not dead, I voiced it to myself. We had told him about being the social... I don't know, he just died. He told me to stay gold, I remembered. What was he talking about? There was a stricken silence. I don't think any of us had realized just how bad off Johnny really had been. Soda made a funny noise. He looked like he was going to start crying. Two-Bit's eyes were closed and his teeth were clenched, and then I suddenly remembered Dally pounding on the wall. Dallys is gone, I said. He ran out like the devil was after him. He's going to blow up. He couldn't take it. How can I take it, I wondered. Dally's tougher than I am. Why can I take it when Dally can't? And then I knew. Johnny was the only thing Dally loved. And now Johnny was gone. So he finally broke. Two-Bit spoke everyone's feelings. So even Dally has a breaking point. I started shaking. Derry said something in a low voice to Soda. Pony boy. Soda said softly like he was talking to an injured animal. You look sick. Sit down. I backed up, just like a frightened animal, shaking my head. I'm okay. I felt sick. I felt as if any minute I was going to fall flat on my face, but I just shook my head. I don't want to sit down. Derry took a step toward me, but I backed away. Don't touch me, I said. My heart was pounding and slow thumps throbbing at the side of my head, and I wondered if everyone else could hear it. Maybe that's why they're all looking at me. I thought they could hear my heart beating. The phone rang, and after a moment, Derry turned up for me to it. He said, hello, and then he listened. He was He hung up quickly. It was Dally. He phoned from a booth. He just robbed a grocery store and the cops are after him. We gotta hide him. He'll be in the lot any minute. We all left the house at a dead run. Even Steve and I wondered vaguely why there was no one doing somersaults off the steps this time. Things were sliding in and out of focus. It all seemed funny to me. I couldn't run in a straight line. We reached the vacant lot just as Dally came in, running as hard as he could from the opposite direction. The wail of the siren grew louder, and then a police car pulled across the street from the lot. Door slammed as the policeman leaped out. Dally had reached a circle of light under the street lamp and skidded to a halt. He turned and jerked a black object from his waistband. I remembered his voice. "I've been carrying a heater. It ain't loaded, but it sure does help a bluff." It was only yesterday Dally had told me and Johnny that, but yesterday was years ago, a lifetime ago. Dally raised the gun. I thought, "You blasted fool, they don't know you're only bluffing." And even as the policeman's gun spit fire into the night, I knew that's what Dally wanted. He had jerked half around by the impacts of the bullets, then slowly crumpled with a look of grim triumph on his face. He was dead before he hit the ground, but I knew that's what he wanted, even as the lot echoed with the cracks of shots, even as I begged silently, "Please, not him and Johnny both." I knew he would be dead, because Dally Winston always got what he wanted, and Dally Winston wanted to be dead. Nobody would write editorials praising Dally. 2 friends of mine had died that night, one a hero, the other a hoodlum. But I remembered Dally pulling Johnny through the window of the burning church, Dally giving us his gun, although it could mean jail for him, Dally risking his life for us, trying to keep Johnny out of trouble, and now he was a dead juvenile delinquent, and there wouldn't be any editorials in his favor. Dally didn't die a hero. He died violent, young, and desperate, just like we all knew he'd die someday, just like Tim Shepard and Curly Shepard and the Brumley boys, and the other guys we knew would die someday. But Johnny was right. He died gallant. Steve stumbled forward with the sob and soda caught him on the shoulders. "Easy, buddy. Easy." I heard him say, "There's nothing we can do now. Nothing we can do. Not for Dally or Johnny or Tim Shepard or any of us." My stomach gave a violent start and I turned to a hunk of ice. The world was spinning around me, blobs of faces and